Okay, so
Recording in progress.
okay, so just to give you a little echo.
It's
Hey,
Ken
hey.
using one of his devices.
Ken, we may be getting feedback because you're on twice.
I'm shutting one. I'm gonna try shutting.
You need to separate and get in two different rooms.
Okay, so just to give you a little heads
That
up
works.
about how we're going to move forward, we're going to start with the budget meeting, and we will open the budget meeting, go through the budget, and then have a motion to approve the budget, and then close that meeting, and then we will immediately go into the annual meeting, which it does not appear that we will have quorum, so that there will not we won't have to open that meeting, but we will move forward with it as a like a town hall for question answers, and hear about what's accomplished during the year and what's going forward. So can I have a motion to open the adjourn meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we have opened the budget meeting. Mark, Mark has laryngitis, so I don't know what he can do. So, Mark, do you want to go as we thought? Try to do it?
As long as everybody can hear me, I will try to power through it. We'll see how long my voice lasts.
Okay.
Okay.
Can everybody see my screen? See my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
If everyone could mute their devices while Mark's going through this.
All right, so we're gonna try to break this down line by line. I'm gonna try to talk through all of it. And then if you have any questions, keep it to the end of this section. So there's three main sections to your budget. It's general administration, building and grounds, and utilities, and then reserves. So we'll start with general administration. Accounting, tax fees, and tax preparation, that's your year-end audit and your tax filings. That stays the same per your CPA. Legal fees is going from $5,000 to $7,500 based on what we spent this year. Bank fees and coupons remains the same. Postage, copies, and supplies, we're actually reducing based on usage. Insurance premium, and the biggest change on the entire budget is your insurance going from $65,500 to $102,350. Management fees is increasing from $18,000 to $19,800. Maintenance payroll is going from $53,130 to $77,692. Corporate annual report is $6125, staying the same. Same things with the licensing and permits. Same thing with bad debt. The miscellaneous, which is anything that we didn't have budgeted in any of these buckets, we're reducing to $2,500 based on what we used. And then the new line item in this budget is the on-site liaison staff that was approved at the last board meeting. And that's going from $0 to $31,508. Total, your general administration is going from $158,584 to $253,604. Does anybody have any questions on this section of the budget?
Yeah, he's done. I'm good. You good? Did you?
Mr. Ayers, am I allowed to ask questions?
Sure. Yeah.
Can you explain to me the new liaison staff?
The new liaison will just be one person, and that person will be doing everything that an on-site manager will do without having to have a CAM license. So it'll basically be doing the majority of things that I was doing, have been doing for the last 5 or 6 years that a manager should have been doing, or an on-site person. I haven't done anything, that I wasn't allowed to do because of no license. It was just different duties that the way that our association has been set up for years is we've never had on-site management, and our boards have always done a lot of these duties themselves, and it's just not sustainable. I mean, we can never even get people to be on the board because our boards board they work so hard and so many hours. I've been putting in like probably over 30 hours a week for the last few years, and it's just I can't keep doing that. So the board looked at it. There isn't anybody else that wants to do those duties. And if you check the documents about what the duties of the officers, it is nothing like what we have expected out of our boards. So, excuse me, Mark, I think I'm getting what you got. So we talked about it we've been talking about this for a few months now, and we looked at to get an on-site manager here to bring them in. Leland sent us all the information, and it's pretty much standard across different companies. And it would have cost us, first of all, we would have had to come up with an office, which we don't have. So if we would have modified the office that we call an office, or if we would have modified another storage room to be an office, there's no Wi-Fi, heat, or air in those storage rooms. So they would have all had to been modified to turn them into an office. We also would have had to get Wi-Fi in there and all this kind of stuff. So there was I think we estimated it would have cost about $40,000 to get an office on site. If that didn't work, then we would have to rent space. I checked with GeoSam, who had some of their suites, and it was quite pricey, the monthly rent to do that. I even talked about a couple owners, even Ed Roddy, I think even I had this conversation, and you offered some suggestions on other places to rent office space or whatever, maybe in the church or other various things. But it looked like, and then the price for an on-site manager to come here and work out of our place was $52 an hour. So it just seemed that right now was not a good time for us to do that, but we needed to make some adjustment. So we opted to have to hire a on-site, we calling it a liaison that will do the work, be here, and continue basically in the manner in which we've been continuing, but it'll take the burden off the president and the other board members that they shouldn't have to be doing. So we felt like it was a good time to do it, and that's what we did. We figured that the on-site person, we'll be paying the on-site person $35 an hour for 2 days a week, 16 hours a week. I know right now that it's going to take more hours than 16 hours a week, but I think that in time we can get it tweaked. It's going to be a process to go through the duties and to get the president back to where the president should be. That it be a full-time unpaid job for the president.
Well, in most organizations that have a management company, when people have a problem, they don't call the board, they call the management company, and the management company does the work. Now, we've never burdened that on Leland. They've never taken that over at all, even though essentially they've been considered our management company. They really are just our accounting firm. That's all they do. If we had a firm, such as Century or something, then the people would call Century, and Century get out of the job and do something. But the problem is Leland doesn't. Their contract called for 2 visits a month to look for problems and other thing. That happened, I think, for the first 2 months, and hasn't done that for all the years they've been getting paid. far as I'm concerned, to give them a raise and then take this work away from them, I think it's nonsense.
Nancy, it's Ed Roddy. If I can just mention a few things, if I could, I think you've done a super job on what you've done so far. And we can't lose sight that we are a business. And we have to have somebody on site to manage our real estate, which is so critical. We want to make sure it's pristine and ready to go at all times. So I really commend you for bringing on the on-site liaison staff. I really do. So that's one comment on that section. If I can maybe ask Mark or Nancy, can you talk to us about the insurance premiums? I know that we have all been affected by insurance on our primary residence and our condos and investment property and things like that. What have you done, which I'm sure you have done, is you have shopped different insurance companies to find out what's the best that Tuscany Square could be offered? Because we're jumping up to $37,000 for a year, and that's pretty reasonable in my eyes, because what I see out there in the field, it's really out of control right now on the insurance side. So can you talk to the group about what you have done to come up with cementing a relationship with either the current company or somebody new?
Yes, Mark, I can take this. Yes, we work with Brown and Brown Insurance. Ian Shinnick is our agent, and they shop for us. They're an agency, so they shop all over and get us the best quote from different. We've had the problem that we ran into this year is that the company that we were with went belly up in the middle of the policy period. And when that happened, then we had to go out and find, as did everyone else. They were one of the major carriers in the state, and they just went belly up. So everybody was shopping for a new general liability or property. It was a property insurer. So the property lines were that, and that was where the major increase in our premium was. And then we had to go from, that happened April 30th, as a matter of fact, was the beginning of the new period. And to be perfectly honest, there weren't a lot of choices to make. They're just, we're really lacking carriers that want to provide insurance, property insurance in Florida. That's always been an issue, but it seems to just be getting worse and worse. So our other lines were not affected. Our workers' comp, D&O, general liability, what else? I forget what all we have. Crime, all those other our umbrella policies. We didn't see that type of increase with those. The increase is all with the property. And to be perfectly honest, Ed, I don't think that's going to get any better. I think it's going to get worse. In the market, a lot of people are even predicting a 30% increase for next year. We only increased it 17% because we knew we were already in a not a good way this year. And so we went up 17% in hopes that that should be enough. That was an overall, and we probably won't see it in the other lines as much. But there's not many good things to say about the future of insurance with condominiums.
That's correctly. You answered my question, Nancy. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
It's twofold too, because you have the property values going up and the marketplace is getting more limited. So you're getting hit on both ends of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions for this section of the budget?
Yeah, can I ask, are the new people now part of the board officially?
Not yet. We still,
Then
but
we
you can,
really
but
don't-
you can,
we don't
but
really
you can
have
talk
any
now.
say on this at all.
Oh yeah, you did. No, you're a homeowner. Of course you have a say. So that's why you're here. So go ahead. I mean, everybody can speak during this. So what would you like to say?
So my concern is that, and I understand the consequences and the necessities of a liaison, but I don't see why, if we're going to have a liaison position to diminish the responsibilities of our management company, why our management fee has gone up. That's one of my concerns. Secondly, I know we went to Brown and Brown. I'm very familiar with Brown and Brown, and them shopping it. But has our management company taken the time to check with other associations, because they're all running into the same problems, to see if ultimately they may have encountered the problem where they were able to secure another provider at a reduced cost? When I was on the Orangeport Business Village as the vice president, we did that. We cut our premium by 40%. Today's are different times and much more difficult times, but I think a resource is other associations, not just the insurance provider. And so those are two concerns that I have as far as this first section. And I would like to see us do due diligence and address those things. Why an increase in management fees when we're adding a liaison? And have we taken the next step to shop other associations to see how they're dealing with this hardship?
Okay, well, I can tell you one thing, that the Leland manages, I don't know how many associations, but I know overall it's
440.
440 other associations. So yes, they are familiar with what is happening across the market. I'm sure that if there was a solution to this problem, Mark, that you all would have been aware of it, right?
We budgeted a 30% increase for you. You guys actually backed it down to 17%. So,
I know.
honestly, the insurance premium game is just going to be a guessing game until it levels out. I was with a different firm yesterday, and he's like, I budgeted 50%, and it came in at 70. So there's nothing. It's just a rock and a hard place.
Yeah. And as far as we are not backing off on their responsibilities. We are, these are things that we do. They're not, if a lot of these things that we do for the homeowner, we would have to pay extra for the management company to do it, and the service would be not as good.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So any other questions regarding the first section?
Well, no, I mean, pardon. Nancy, you say we'd have to pay extra to Leland. Does that necessarily mean we have to pay extra for some of these things to a different management company? Because there's some of these things I think that are done by other management companies that are not being done by Leland.
Such as Richard, give me an example.
Well, for instance, I keep hearing, that basically, Century, who manages the townhouses, when they have a problem over there, they call Century. Century immediately gets somebody on it. They answer any question that's brought up. They answer within 24 hours. That's their rule. And basically, you don't go to the board first. To go to the board last for permission if they need something they need approved. But what we've got is to the point where we go to the board first, and then we might get around to getting some management function involved. But usually the management company doesn't get involved until it comes to pay the bill. But back in 2016, the board called a special meeting. Matter of fact, it was June 9th, 2016, to interview management companies and compare what they offer for services. Now, I don't think that was done this time. There was not a comprehensive a meeting to view what other management companies in the area were able to offer for services. Now, what reason we picked Leland, they had an an agriculture man who made the presentation, who did an excellent job made out a report that was fantastic. And before we even started service with him, left the company and went someplace else. But he was the one that sold us on the company in the first place. And he wasn't even a part of the deal when we had it. But that was, you know, we got a pig in a poke when we started with it, and that's what we're stuck with.
Well, since I work with them daily, I have to say that I'm very happy that we have been able to improve the operation of this condominium with their help. I speak to Mark I speak to him multiple times a day, and I speak to Jefferson multiple times a day. That's the account manager. I speak to Mark multiple times a day. Just maybe because the homeowner doesn't speak to them doesn't mean they're not helping us. They are helping us every single day.
Why do you have to speak to them every single day?
Regarding things that are going on in the condo.
Just give me, for instance, like what?
Okay, today I talked to him about the annual meeting, about how what is the order in which it comes. We went over again a couple of budget items that I wanted to feel 100% confident that I could answer any questions regarding the budget. We went over that. Mark and I have talked about the liaison position multiple times. Mark has managed many, many communities, and he has told us multiple times that he feels that Tuscany Square is one of the best run communities that he's ever managed.
I can imagine, because most of this community is doing more work than any of the other communities are doing for him.
Richard, just be grateful. Just be grateful that we're doing it and that we've come so far along. And I'm not going to, I think that we'll move on to the next section.
Yeah, well, now that you have a totally closed mind, you're sold on Leland, and that's it. You won't even consider somebody else.
You're wrong.
Yeah, I've dealt with.
That's what I'm hearing.
If I can just say a few things, I'm in the real estate business and I deal with a lot of different management companies in the field. And I'm not going to name names, but this one has been really superb on properties I have worked with. So everybody has.
Pardon me, who's this?
I have to say about different organizations. And I think it's been run pretty good. Since I don't really live in the community there in Tuscany, I do know when I go in there, everything is running smoothly. And I think we're just a great community there, and we have to move on to the next item on the agenda.
What about the fact the contract called for Leland to make twice a month visits to the property, to inspect the property, look for things that need correction, and that would certainly have a chance to talk to people too, and doesn't even bother considering this function. They just stopped doing it after the first 2 months, and they've been on the contract for years.
I beg to differ with you, Richard. Mark comes here quite frequently. Maybe you don't see him, but I see him here.
I literally walked to the building in knee-deep water when you guys were underwater. So I mean,
yeah, he walked in water up to it over his knees to bring us power things so we could charge up our phones.
Okay, well, I stand corrected. You're right, though. I do not see him. I never have seen him except at board meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't make a giant announcement when we're coming there, but I talk to whoever I see. Like, it's in and out real quick. Like, it's a small property.
Now, one immediate question. Yesterday, I wrote out a request for work in terms of a problem we're apparently having with our elevator, where we had this sudden drop and a sudden stop and loud noise. And then I sent a work order request through the system on that, and mentioned it happened before, but I failed to report it the first time it happened. But this time it was a little more dramatic in terms of the fall and the noise. And this time I thought it definitely it required that the elevator be looked at to find out what's slipping in the
Okay,
system.
okay, Richard, that's a maintenance request and we've gotten it and Kone's been called about it. So
Okay,
that
no,
has nothing to do with the budget meeting that we're having today. So let's
no,
keep everything with the budget.
but it does ask about who picks up that message and acts on it. Does our management company or our board?
Skip does, a volunteer.
Yeah, the board, not the management company. I would think those things ought to go to a management company.
And they can, but the board has their own website and has managed the website from day one on their own. It's not like we're refusing to do things. This is a lot to do with the people that have been on the board that have not allowed other people to do things. That you guys do a lot. I've said this in a ton of meetings. The board goes above and beyond what is asked of a general board daily. And they don't do it by necessity. They do it because the level of service they want to provide to the residents. We aren't on site, so anything that we do is going to have a delay and a turnaround. Whereas you have your board who literally gets back to people within the hour most days. So it's by choice, not by design.
Okay. All right.
It's all part of our website, Richard. The website's been there for many years.
Yes, I'm more of that.
Okay,
But you say Coney has been advised to check it out?
I'm sure they have been, yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Next section, Mark.
The next section is building grounds and maintenance. The first line item is the landscaping contract. That is actually going down to 19,200 based on their current monthly contract. Landscape improvements is also being reduced to 3,500 based on what we spent this year. Gate repairs and expenses is increasing to 2,500, again, based on expenses. Tree trim removal and replace is going up to 4,500. Window cleaning is increasing by 500 to 7,000. Elevator maintenance is staying the same per your contract. Plumbing repairs and electrical repairs bumping up based on what we spent. Plumbing repairs was an outlier this year because we did the shutoff valves. So we removed those costs from the budget. So that's why this is not really increasing at all.
Can I say something right here?
Sure.
Just for your information, the shutoff valves that we did, still have one unit to go, but we did 26 relocation of the shutoff valves for a total of $20,800, during which 14 out of 16 people replaced their hot water heaters, which is a benefit to all of us. That will avoid maintenance caused by a ruptured hot water heater. So, and then in addition to that, under the plumbing repairs, we cleaned out this year all of the sewers for a cost of $10,028.41. So that's a total of over $30,000 of plumbing repairs that we won't see next year.
The next line item is roof repairs. We kept that the same. This is just general roof maintenance, not any replacement costs. That's $3,000. Fire sprinklers is increasing to 9,100. That's per your inspection fee, and then minor repairs. Pest control and termite bond is going up to 5,300 per the new contract. General repairs and maintenance is increasing from 17,000 to 25,000 based on what we spent. And then building cleaning is decreasing to 25,000 based on the current contract. Overall, the entire category is going up from $127,115 to $134,500. Anybody have any other questions for this category?
Mark, I have a question about the roof repair and replacement on that one. That seems a little bit light, only $3,000 a year for that. Is that sufficient for that?
Yeah, I can take that, Mark. Okay, so the roof repairs, here's where we stand with the roof. The fiber tight roof is out of warranty. It had a 15-year warranty, and so 15 years, I think. It just went out of warranty. So what they're doing now to fiber tight, we just had a very good long meeting with R&R Roofing yesterday, It was the building committee, myself, and we met with them because now instead of back in the day, they would, when a fiber type, we'd have a leak, they would cut out the fiber type and, patch it back in. The fiber type is the membrane that, it's a flat roof. And so now they're using a coating, and they have coating people that coat this with a silicone, something that actually extends the life, and you're able to get an additional warranty on it by doing this. So we talked to them because we did it on a small section of Building 6 just recently, and honestly, we went through this hurricane with basically no roof leaks. It was so good. So they came out yesterday or the day before, and he walked all around it. And so we're going to get a price. We're thinking about recoating the entire fiber type this coming year. It would be definitely a reserve item. And the reason that we have the budget so low in the for the repairs is that basically we are looking at any future repairs will extend the life of the fiber type. So, we have been chasing leaks. When there's a leak coming, then we call them in and they redo the fiber type with the coating or whatever, and then that will extend the life of it. So it turns into a reserve item. But now it looks like we're going to see how much it's going to cost, and we may possibly recoat the whole rest of the roof in 2023. Therefore, we won't be chasing leaks. We will just not have any leaks, which would be wonderful. So
would that come out of reserves then that we have there, Nancy?
Yes, and the money's already there.
No special assessments would be
Nope.
required? Okay.
Nope.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a really, we've always, Ed, we've always fully funded our reserves. We have, reserve studies every couple of years, and we have the amount of money in there that we're supposed to have in there. And so we're in pretty good shape with that. And we're also pretty proactive when it comes to the roof and other maintenance areas. We have everything on a maintenance schedule and all of this. So I felt really good. We've been looking for a roofer. Our roofer of 10 years ended up not wanting to be our roofer anymore. And their reason was, when I called to have them come out, they said, we don't repair roofs that we didn't put on. And I was like, you've been our roofer for 10 years. And they didn't have any answer. They just didn't want to do it anymore.
Who's that roofer, Nancy?
Who was that?
Who's the roofer that said that? Who's doing the roof? Who did the roofing job before?
AWS.
Okay.
And AWS had, they did have some difficulties. Right. Buddy was the owner, and he was great. And that's, we've been with him for 10 years. Buddy retired. And when he retired, it just,
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So now we've called R&R. And as it turns out, R&R put on the roof originally. And that ultimately we sued them in our construction defect. So I did not call R&R for a while because I was like, oh my gosh, we sued him. I don't know how this is going to work. But I kept hearing from other roofers that no, R&R is a new they've changed management there. It's a new group. They do great work now, and they know they didn't do good work back then. So they didn't think that anything would be, they wouldn't hold it against us. And so when they came out, this guy came with them who actually was here and put on our roof. This guy knew everything that didn't get done properly, and he knew why. And it was just, it was really, I think it was really good for us. I mean, he gave us a lot of information and a lot of, I think it's going to be really good. They've got a great reputation right now. I've checked it out with a whole bunch of other roofers. And for other roofers to say that another roofer is great is a good sign. So I have good hopes for that.
You have your finger on the pulse, Nancy. Great job.
Thank you.
Nancy, if I could intervene, I personally have involved on my commercial buildings, utilized that process.
Yeah.
It is excellent. It is great. It's not cheap. It's costly, but
Right.
it's an effective way to remedy those problems. And you're right, chasing leaks for water. Water goes where it wants to go. So I rarely will endorse anything, but that process that you're talking about, I think you would probably find that is a good direction to move in. And I think the end result would be total satisfaction.
Thank you. That's good to hear. I agree with you.
Good job.
What's also very important here is that by doing this, we extend the warranty for another 10 years, which is a significant benefit to us.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I think it's a win-win. I'm just hoping it all works out. But that's the direction we're going in right now. And it's I mean, we just did the meeting 2 days ago, so it's, we have to wait and see, but I have high hopes for that. Any other questions about this section?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, can you tell me, under general repairs and maintenance, there's an increase projected of $8,000. How do you speculate how much more you're going to need for 2023, $8,000 increase?
It's based on everything. That's usually like the credit card that the on-site staff uses. So that's mainly all the supplies that they use. So it's based on the use from this year, projecting into next year.
Okay.
So this year, I think he spent like 23, we spent 23,000, I think was the number. Budget.
Well, the budget's saying 17,000 for general repairs, maintenance, and then it's going to 25,000.
Yeah, we were projecting to be almost $7,000 over budget in that line item.
So that's just a calculation you're making. It may be that, it may be less, it may be more.
Correct.
Okay. That's good.
Anybody else before we move on to the next topic?
Nancy, if I could, one quick question, that's out of my own ignorance, but what is, and I'm only new to this community since January, what is window cleaning?
Window cleaning. Okay, window cleaning is we have to we hire a vendor to get a lift, and they clean the exterior windows on the second, third, and fourth floor. And then also we have him starting last year, because we've noticed he reported to us last year that the windows remember, are the owner's responsibility. So the windows were starting to show some signs of deterioration. So we had him recalk the windows that looked really like they really needed it bad. And then this year, I just talked to him because he's going to do it again. And this year I made a list of all of when I went around to assess hurricane damage, the majority of our damage, which was minimal actually, but the majority of it came from the north side of the building. So I made a list of the units on the north side, and I'm having him completely recalk the windows on the north side, because we did have a lot of our damage resulted in wind-driven rain that either came around the windows or it came through the balcony doors underneath in that area, but it was all wind-driven rain. There was nothing very, very, very minimal, anything that showed up on the roof, all just the wind-driven rain. So he's going to recalk those. But then we started looking into vendors about replacing windows. Tom Keeney actually was the chairman of a committee, and he interviewed 3 different companies because we wanted to give the homeowners some options as to if they decided it was time to replace their windows. And, Tom interviewed them, met with them, and then wrote up a little report, which I have not furnished with the members yet, but we will after the first of the year, because I want to wait and have Steve's, who's going to do the window. Steve Joyce Sr. is doing our window washing, and I want him to get a report from him about the condition of the windows now and compare it to what it was like he saw last year. And then we'll send out this information and Tom's report and give the homeowners just some options if they want to consider maybe starting to think about replacing their windows.
Very good. Thank you for that explanation. And one more quick question, not a critical one, but again, out of my own ignorance, building cleaning, what does that involve?
Okay, building cleaning. Okay, we've got something going on with that right now too. Let me get a drink of water. Mark, what did you give me?
I'm sorry, I swear I'm not contagious.
I know. I haven't even seen you in person. Okay, building cleaning is what we do weekly. We used Molly Maids for a while, and we cleaned the hallways, the exterior hallways. They dust around the windows and the doors to take any bugs away. They blow the hallways out. They spot mop as anything they see when they're there. They go down the stairwells and
They do the elevator landings, the elevators. They clean the stainless steel elevator doors, interior and exterior. And then once a week, they will completely mop the exterior walkways. So every 6 weeks, the entire complex walkways are mopped.
Right.
So every 6 weeks, each building gets done.
So we had, like I said before, we had Molly Maids, and then we got rid of them and we hired Steve Joyce, who he asked if he could bid on that job, and he gave us a little discount and he started doing it. Well, he was doing it and he was doing a fine job. And then he hurt his neck or back and he was out for a few weeks. Well, then when the hurricane came, he started helping people who lost everything and had no flood insurance. And he started replacing drywall and all of this. And he's missed like a few weeks there. And so I talked to him and I'm like, look, we have to have you back here. So he pretty much, I told him that I was going to try to find somebody else to do it. And he was kind of okay with that. So we actually talked. We're thinking about possibly going a different route with this also. We've been very fortunate in with some of our vendors that we like to stay with the local people, and we do like smaller companies than really big companies. And so we did the same with landscaping. We did away with our big company, and we have a husband and wife that do it now, and they do an excellent job. So it was a very good decision. Well, today, a couple of days ago, I was thinking that I feel like if we could find like 3 or 4 women who would like a part-time job, that, maybe they could do that. And I started calling around because I do know some people that do cleaning, and didn't really come up with anybody. But then yesterday in the parking lot, we saw these 2 girls at Stan. They were coming from your apartment. I don't know if you were there, Stan, and from your condo. And Mike Hatzel and I were sitting in the park, and we talked to them. and they like jumped all over it. They were like, the one girl said she's basically done things like that before. And so they're in the process of giving us a bid. And I told them I wanted them to try it out and let us see what they do and how they, because I want them to bid it properly. But so we're in the process of making a change there. And hopefully in the next couple of days, maybe we have something new to report.
Nancy, I think I have another option for you too. I'll give you
Okay.
my cleaning girl. She does a lot of the weekly rentals up in Palm Coast, and she might be another go-to to get a price to see how maybe she
Okay.
can help you out with that. But the question I have is though, on the building cleaning, does that include the pressure cleaning today or yesterday they had in the buildings there, or is that another line item I'm missing?
That is general maintenance. That's under maintenance. Steve does the pressure washing of the units. He just did building 5. It just completed it yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
And
I wasn't sure about that. They did
Yeah.
a great job. Great job. Looks really nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Nancy, do they do the balconies as exterior maintenance as well?
Okay, so the balconies are owned by the owners. They're the responsibility of the owners. The only time we have ever cleaned balconies is when we power wash the entire building, which comes with painting, and then we power wash one time in between. So basically every 3.5 years, and that's it. I wish it was more, but it's not.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? Okay. Want to move down to utilities, or did we didn't do that yet, did we? Utilities and reserves.
So utilities, we basically took what last year's was, or this year's, and budgeted for a 3% increase. So it goes from 14,784 to 17,420, 13,188, 14,089. Telephone actually went down. Thanks to Tom, he negotiated a deal for the elevator phones. So we actually had a reduction of almost $3,000 there. So shout out to Tom, even though I can't talk.
Yeah, I'll give the shout out to Tom. That was awesome. Tom, you did a great job of that. Okay, and the cable.
And then cable is based on your bulk contract rate that we have with Spectrum.
Yeah.
So overall, you had an increase from 110,286 to 120,410. Any questions on utilities?
Okay.
Yes, on the cable. I thought we had bundled the cable last year or this year, beginning of
We
this
did
year.
we did it last year.
And why is there an increase for 2023?
Because they increase every year.
All right, and that includes I thought we had a contract with them for like 5 years at a certain price, no?
The price gets changed every year. They have a limit that they can go up every year, but it can change. It changes on an annual basis.
Okay, and so that contract is good for how many more years with them?
4.
Well, it will be 3.
3, yeah,
budget.
3, I'm sorry.
3, and it keeps increasing. All right.
Didn't their contracts normally have a limit on the percentage of increase per year?
Yeah, Mark said that.
Yeah, but this is, I see a $10,000. That's more than 10%. It's like a 15% increase, right?
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Did we have a 15% increase built into the contract?
Wait a minute. It says per projection plus 5% increase.
Oh, 5% of our current contract would be a little over $3,000. That's a $10,000 increase.
One second, I'm looking it up. I'll tell you right now. So for this year, we spent $68,605.30 for 2022. So we were under budgeted in 2022 already. We went over budget by $6,000. And then you have the 5% on top of that.
So the $62,000 is not a year-end figure, right?
No, that's last year's budgeted. So
Oh,
your actual expenditures for the year were $68,605.30.
Well,
And they will be through December.
oh dear.
But some of the offset to that too is that the telephone came from 19.8 down to 16.8. So what was the decrease of the telephone? Is that through the gates or through the elevators?
Elevators.
Okay.
Elevators.
So you're saving quite a bit there, just pushing it down more towards the cable, which is not that much of an increase.
No.
Okay.
No, and remember when we did the bundle and we added the internet 3 years ago or 2 years ago, whatever. Everybody's cable bill went way down. My cable bill went from like $160 a month to $9.
HOA is going way up because of it, right?
yes.
Not as much as it went down.
That's not apples and oranges there.
No.
No.
Where's our friend? What's his name? He's fine.
Anybody else have any questions with that on the budget at all?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
All right, now, from last month's meeting, I have no problem. You're saying we're paying Skip, what, $200 a month?
Yeah.
Where is that coming out of?
It's
I don't
factored
know.
in. It's in the
I think
on-site liaison staff.
Yeah.
On what?
The on-site liaison staff.
Oh, okay, so, all right, so he'll get, that's off of that. Okay, I was just
Yeah.
wondering. I didn't want to get, Skip out of this, but I just didn't see where he was.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's what I was wondering. Okay, I have no problem with doing that. But, okay, so, but then with the liaison thing, like with Richard said, have you ever thought about just going to the place here, was it Evergreen? And they have an office, they have everything, and they're
I
on,
actually spoke to them.
okay,
I actually spoke to them, and it's the $52 an hour for an on-site manager is pretty standard.
but wouldn't it just be for them to charge us if we needed them? Half the time, I don't, what do we need them for? They would take calls, or I don't understand,
What do you? I don't understand what you're saying.
yeah, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, but I think, did you ever look into Exit if they have a cam there? They have an office there, are we just going with Leland and, that's it?
Well, we are under contract with Leland now. When if there's a reason that we want to,
Because I do have names of, I have a name of another company we could look into that I got. And then, Mark says he's here, but you know what? 3 months ago, when I was on the board, I said about replacing the stop sign that's all faded out between the garages. Nobody's done anything about it. Mark was the one that wanted us to put it up, and it's been faded for months. If somebody goes through that sign and somebody gets hit, they're going to say, well, we can't see that sign.
Okay, so we can actually, why don't you do a maintenance request for that, and we'll handle it.
Nancy, it's not a maintenance request. It was something when I was on the board, I brought up to the board, I'd say at least 3-4 months ago, it should have been replaced. That's not a maintenance request. It should have just been done. It should have been known. that needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
Okay, I can make a note of that.
You know.
It's not up to Mark to replace that. It's up to us
Yes,
to
it
replace
is.
it.
Mark was the one that says we suggested a year ago that we put that up. Mark McCallum suggested that.
But that doesn't become his obligation to do that.
Well, that if he's supposedly coming here twice a month, he should have seen it.
Yeah, why isn't that a report?
You know, right, that, I'm sorry, Nancy, but Richard is right at times. You know, you might know he shows up, but maybe he should, maybe the board should let us know, Mark is coming here today at such and such a time. If you have a problem, we can meet with them. Homeowners can meet with them to express their problems with what's going on.
Can
No,
I
we're
say something real quick?
We're
Going
never
forward, we're gonna have this on-site liaison that can take care of
But who is
the
that?
owner's the owner's questions. And going forward, we don't want to go back. Going forward,
Not going back.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I think, since Leland is our management company, he should let all the homeowners know, you have that equipment. You can put out a blast, say, Mark is here today. You will have a question, you want to ask him something, he's here. We're never notified when he's here.
Mark, is
Because I'm not an
that
on-site-
Mark, is that a normal way for that?
No, that's
I've
not
never
what
heard of that.
That's
think
not what a
what should be-
portfolio can.
I think what should be done is that we should put on the website any questions that the owners might have about the complex. And then we can look at those different issues that are out there and then address them as a group, as opposed to just giving all to Mark to work on. So I think that it's more
So what do
going
we
back to the
pay for
website to work along.
I
to
agree with
things
Richard. What do
completed.
all right, then we'll
that's
just
what the
go on.
maintenance request process is for.
But
That's what the
Replace
maintenance request
stop
process
sign.
is for.
I'm trying to tell you, replacing that stop sign that Mark had us put up. If he comes around all the time, he should have known it's faded and it needs to be replaced. He had us put it up.
Okay, I have to say that I probably drive past it daily and it hasn't knocked me over either. So it's like, but now that I know about it, I'm going to take a good look at it.
Then just take it down. And then if somebody goes through there and another person comes around and there's an accident, you people deal with it. You deal with it. It should be a stop sign. Mark was right. It should have been a stop sign, but that's maintenance too.
Okay, Marge, we're talking about the budget. We're not talking about
Okay.
a stop sign. So I've made a note of this. I've made a note of this and I will put Stevie on it tomorrow and tell him to take care of it. Let's complete the budget meeting.
Wow.
I'm in to answer the question because I didn't get a chance to talk. The inspection process is not a free-for-all meet with your manager. That's not what a portfolio manager is. A portfolio manager is somebody that manages the community from a remote location. This is the whole point why we're going to an on-site liaison, because the cost to have a manager sit there for 2 days a week was 3 times what the on-site liaison cost would be. So Leland is never, whether it's me or whether it's Vicky or any other manager, there's never going to be a blast sent out that says, hey, your manager's on site this day, this is your time to talk to them. My phone number is posted in every elevator walkway on the website. There's multiple ways to get in touch with us. We have a 24-hour policy to respond. So I don't know where the lack of the management company doing nothing is coming from. So that's just my perspective.
Thank you, Mark.
Do we have any other questions on utilities?
Yeah, can I ask Mark a question? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Mark, so when you come out here twice a month, what do you do while you're here physically?
Basically, I drive the U, I drive down the center lane. I should have noticed the stop sign. Marge is right. I should have got that. That was my mistake. I will gladly own that. Same thing as Nancy. I probably driven past that thing, I don't know, 50 times and never realized that it was faded. So I apologize for that. And then I walked the outside of the building to see if anything's happening. In all honesty, your inspection process is probably the easiest inspection around because your building's not falling apart. And it's not like you have 1,000 violations. So there's not a whole lot to report from an inspection process.
Okay, thank you.
In any of your trips around, have you ever commented on all the illegal parking of vehicles at that time, which was running rampant for a while?
Richard, we talk about parking at every board meeting. We can beat that horse to death. People
No,
park
I asked
illegally
you,
everywhere else.
I asked if you have ever reported that in your trips.
I don't have to. We have a parking committee that takes care of it. So the answer to your question is no. Why would I report
We don't
something?
we don't take care of inspections of vehicles at a board meeting. You do that when people are out on the site and they see it.
Can we please finish the budget meeting?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
this is
Okay, so we've gone through the entire budget. Can I have a motion to approve the budget?
I so move.
I'll
Nancy,
second.
one quick question if I could. Is our reserves fully funded? You said that they were in accordance with what they're supposed to be. So they are completely funded as
Yes.
per the state requirements?
Yes.
Your
Thank you.
reserves are
Yes.
funded based on your reserve study that we've updated every 3 years.
Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion is made and seconded to approve the budget. Is there any additional discussion?
Can Ed Rodney second? He's not on the board.
Oh, it has to be one of the 5 board members.
Oh, sorry, Ed.
Okay.
Okay, can I have a
back
I'll
second?
second the motion.
Okay, second by Mike. Any additional discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Budget is approved. Can I have a motion to adjourn the budget meeting?
I so move.
I second.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. The budget meeting is adjourned. Now, before we start the annual meeting, can I, Mark, can you tell me how many people we have here? Do we have a quorum? Sure we don't.
I got 6 proxies in the mail. You got 2 more. So
Yeah.
that's 8. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 units represented on here, which totals 20, which is 22 short of a quorum. So you do not have a quorum for the annual meeting.
Okay, so we do not have a quorum, so we will not have an annual meeting. What we will do now is revert to like a town hall. And so,
Nancy, can I just say one thing? And I asked Skip this afternoon. You never put a notice in the message box. You never put anything on the website. You know, I forgot what time the meeting was. Is this so illegal? You never did any of this.
The meeting was
On the
noticed via mail.
No, well, no.
Yes.
When
It was.
I was secretary, we had to have everything put out 2 days before. Why
That's
wasn't
if
it?
it wasn't, if it wasn't, this meeting was noticed 2 weeks in advance via mail.
You know, you're gonna say whatever you, but I really think that it should have been put on the website. So that's why you don't have a form, because you have not let people know, reminded people about the meeting.
it was
It
on the
was on the
website. That's where I
website.
got, it was on the
Hang on, guys.
website.
Was it not? You usually do it, Skip usually puts it on with the ID number and everything. a day
It
before.
was, that's where I got
That's
mine.
how I logged on.
No, I didn't get, I had to go on the owner's area.
That's
It
the
was-
website.
That's the website.
But it wasn't Skip.
Your annual meeting is required to be noticed twice. It's required to be noticed 45 days. No less than 45 days.
What
No
was
more
that?
than 60 days.
If I-
Days before.
I'll back here and say I saw nothing on the elevator, so I was kind of confused about that a little bit myself.
Yes, yeah.
But I did have some paperwork, so I thought, ooh, I think it's today.
Right, exactly.
But like, you know, I think the elevators, a notice meeting there is always a good way because people walk
It would
in and immediately
not-
look
right.
up if there's something new there, but there was no notification there this time.
Right.
The annual meeting is required to be noticed no more than 60, no less than 45 days. Then there's a second notice that's required no less than 15 days, no more than 30. So every unit owner got noticed twice by mail for this meeting.
No, we didn't.
Yes, yes, you did.
Nancy, this is Audrey.
Hello.
I received notice by mail twice under the terms that Mark said that they were made. So
Yes.
I don't know.
So did I.
With the idea that if you, I don't know how you can prove you did it, but I received mine.
Thank you, Audrey.
And if your bylaws state that, that's what you do. You're not their babysitter. You don't need to call them up and tell them you're having a meeting at 6:30.
No, we met our notice requirements. We check on that every single year, and we know exactly what the dates are that the mailing has to take place. We have it's a process. We've done it every year. So, okay, so now we're having the annual meeting it's the same as we did last year. We didn't have a quorum last year either. So we did it in a town hall situation. We did not need to have an election because we had 3 open spaces and we have only 2 candidates. So 3 candidates, I'm sorry. And so I'll get started on the town hall.
Do you want to introduce the candidates?
I did. Yeah. First of all, I wanted to introduce Vicky Amatucci. Is that how you say your name? Okay. Vicky is going to take Mark's place as our CAM. Mark is resigning at the end of the year, and Vicky will be taking his place. We are meeting her for the very first time right now. I would like to take this opportunity to tell Mark that we are very, very grateful to you for all of your help. And I guess I'm definitely speaking for myself. You have helped me manage this condo every single day. And I appreciate your availability. I don't even have to leave a message. I just hang up the phone if he doesn't answer it. And within minutes, he calls me back all the time. I talk to him multiple times a day. And I appreciate that's exactly what we need here to manage our condo. I wish you a lot of luck in your new thing. And as I told you yesterday, I still have your cell phone number and I still expect to be able to call you when necessary. Vicky, you've got some big shoes to fill. He's helped us do so many things right. I mean, what he found when he came on board, we previously had a management company that was not really sad, what they left. And I think I've told you this story before. When they gave us our boxes of documents, I opened them up and there was like not even a file in there. It was like a huge box of papers. And I started going through one at a time. It might be a bill, it might be an invoice, it might be a insurance policy from another community. I mean, there was just boxes of this stuff. This is what we had been relying on for years. And Mark and Leland turned it all around. And I thank you so much. We never had a reserve study before you came along. We never, you really you really helped us get on, and you came the same time I came, and I had no experience with condos. And you helped me get through that, and you pointed me to classes, and you encouraged education. And I thank you and wish you well. Also, Vicky, we look forward to working with you, and we'll have a long
Welcome
relationship.
aboard.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
I took over a community that was in the same situation where I got boxes and nothing was filed. And I mean, I literally took this community from the ground up. So I finally have them on autopilot. They are good. Same situation, no reserve study, a mess. And it took 3 months, but we're clean now. We're good. So
Yeah.
Good.
I feel the pain with that one.
Yeah. Okay, so also I just want to I'm trying to see who's here that doesn't know. I was gonna I can introduce the existing board members. Nancy Brannon is the vice president up there. Tom Keeney is the treasurer, who does a phenomenal job. Mike Hatzel is a director, and he is also on the architectural review committee, and he's part of the building committee.
That's about it.
That's it for right. Yeah, that's it. Marge Miller was the secretary for a number of years, and we appreciate everything that she did. And she resigned a couple months ago, and we miss her. And but we will keep going, and hopefully we can fill that space here in the next few months. You all know our maintenance guy is Steve Joyce Jr. We hired him in January. We had a brief interruption in his employment, but he's back now, and he's doing a great job. And he, in my opinion, is the best maintenance guy we've ever had. So we hope to keep him for a long time. We also just hired Atticus Paler, who is a high school graduate who lives in the building, and he's going to work just a couple hours. We paid him, I think we're paying him $15 an hour to do various things, not to exceed 3 hours a day. But and he doesn't even come in every day. He's a college student, but he's been a big help since he's been here.
Yeah, he assists Steve in whatever Steve needs.
Yeah, taking some of the mundane things off of Steve's plate so he can focus on the more traditional maintenance activities that occur every day.
And then, when we now come to volunteers, our biggest volunteer is probably Skip Brannon. He's hiding behind the Tuscany Square COA picture. And there he is. Thank you, Skip. I can't even begin to say everything that Skip does. He's our techie. He's our IT guy. He created our website. He maintains our website. He takes care of the gates and the security cameras. And then he also designed what to me has made our community grow in the right direction. He created the TIP. It's a computer program that all board members will have access to, and it literally in a click of one click you can tell, it has a complete schedule of all the work projects that are going on and the maintenance that is required. It has the log that our maintenance guy completes every day about what he did the day before. We can tell how many palm trees we have on site, how many lights we have, where we order the light bulbs that go in the lights. We have diagrams of where all the water meters are and whose they are. We have diagrams inside the units where the water shutoffs are. Everything you can imagine, and even things that aren't on there yet. I mean, Skip and I are daily I'll call him and I'll say, hey, could we do this? And like next thing you know, it's done. So it's a tremendous program. Mark has even said that he should patent it and sell it, because he said it is so convenient and so great for a community like this. I feel like things just don't get fall through the cracks, except for that stop sign, which we'll have to put that on there. But other than that, the tip is awesome, and Skip is awesome, and I can't thank him enough. And then we have our ladies in Building 1, Lori, Gay, Trudy, and Marge, who have furnished all of the flowers around the complex and down at the monument and everything. And they do all of that, and we so appreciate them, and everybody likes the way they look. So
Actually, Nancy, if we can get other volunteers from other neighbors,
sure.
I think we're burnt out on that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's probably something we can do, is to send a note out to all the other buildings to see if there's any other people who want to volunteer to water plants in front of their building, if we can give them pots and plants.
Right, because Lori and I did the monument, and then talking to Nancy, we're gonna need volunteers if you guys want to decorate for Christmas. We have everything, but we need volunteers.
Yeah, we'll send a blast out and see if we can get some other helpers for Christmas time after Thanksgiving. Now let me introduce the two new board members. Is Stan still here?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Oh,
Here.
there you are. I'm sorry. I was looking right at you. Okay. So Stan is waving. It's Stan. How do you say your last name?
Shimalewski.
Shimalewski.
Good idea.
And Stan, you want to just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Stan Shimalewski. I've been here since last December. I moved in. I came from Las Vegas, where I worked there for a long time, toiled. Moved out here, very much enjoy it. Fell in love with this neighborhood. That's what I did.
Yeah.
And everything in it. So yeah, I just want to get involved. I want to help out. I'm retired. So Nancy, you can crack the whip on me anytime you want.
Okay. Well, we're glad to have you, Stan. And then we have Kim Modulewski. And can you hear us, Kim?
I can, thank you.
Okay, you want to introduce yourself and
Yeah, my first thing to Stan would be Yakshamash.
Don't you?
Yeah, see, now you got Nancy. You have a problem now because you now have two poles in the same bucket.
Now we can talk about you, Nancy. You'll never know what we're saying.
And not only are we both poles in the same bucket, we're both from the law enforcement community. So good luck. Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to be involved with good folks. I don't think I need to take time and pat myself on the back or represent my credentials, because they're presented in my intent. I do want to take the opportunity to tell Nancy that I served as a president on boards. I know how difficult that task is. And in my observation, and I've observed Nancy quite a bit because we live on the same floor.
That's right.
Has done a commendable job. I wouldn't wish presidency of a board on anyone, because I would like them to continue to like me. So Nancy has been, and when she said she works so many hours, I stood on the balcony with her many times after normal hours, 7, 8 o'clock at night. And somebody talked about parking issues, and we stood and talked and thought about different things. So Nancy has been proactive, and again, I offer her all the support, commend her efforts, and I think that this entire community should thank her for her endless hours of participation and endurement. Because boy, you do have to endure a lot. So, but anyway, I'm happy to be a resident here. I've been in this county for many years. I'm new to this association. I enjoy it. I feel that we could only move better, move forward. I'm not sure that it's going to be any better because it is pretty good as far as I'm concerned. But we look forward to being part of an organization that works as a team and communicates well. So thank you for allowing me to have the opportunity to be involved with such good folks.
Thank you. We look forward to working with you. So I think I want to go over kind of what we've been through during this past year. And it kind of started out where we had a situation, an overflow in building 3 or 4. Anyway, at 4, and it actually opened up a lot of our eyes to a lot of things, and we ended up. That's when we ended up cleaning out all the drains, which we had never done before, and we got all that taken care of. And we also saw a need after every time we are confronted with a new issue, we always look at how to avoid it in the future or what we can do to help the homeowners get through these type of problems. And we experienced 2 major casualty losses in our condo. One was this overflow of the sewer backing up into the house, and another was a big mold problem that occurred because the homeowner was not in town and had nobody looking at the unit. So that kind of opened our eyes, and we saw a need for the possibility of creating a new service to our homeowners. And what we did is we modified the property modification form to include a homeowner to request someone to inspect their home if they're going to be out of town for a period of time, or a couple weeks or a couple months or 6 months, that they can sign up for this. They can sign up on the property modification form to have somebody come and it's Steve, it's our maintenance guy, or a board member if Steve is not around, to go into their unit and inspect it. We keep their keys in a special place once they sign up for it. We've averaged ongoing at least 5 units at a time. So we have 5 or 6 right now that we're doing. Every week somebody goes in there, checks the toilets, checks your hot water closet, your AC to be sure nothing is leaking, nothing is showing any problem. And it's working very well. And we've had, like I say, we are averaging about 5 each week that we go inspect. So this is a result of us having a casualty loss, but this is how we operate. We've always operated this way. To try, everything we do is to try to make the place better for us and for you all. We're all homeowners too. So that came out of that. So that was a good thing. We also contracted to, I don't know if for any of you that have been here a long period of time, we used to have just periodic fire alarms go off, like all the time. And these were like, we, in addition to the alarms going off, the board had to go down there and silence the alarms and then wait for the fire department to come and all of this. And this was like a regular thing. It was going off all day and night. So we started getting bids on replacing our system. Our system was obsolete. And so we ended up signing a contract with Dynafire, which it was our new, we actually replaced our old company with Dynafire. They came highly recommended through some other cams, actually. And so we went ahead and priced out replacing the system, and we signed a contract to replace the entire fire system for $115,000. We signed the contract in October of 2021. They actually started work in April of this year. It took a while because we are very unfortunate that we have not ever been provided any as-built plans for our building. We've been to the city, we've been to everywhere. Nobody has the plans. So the city wouldn't give a permit until they had as-built. So the as-built had to be reconstructed. And I was fortunate enough to go and talk to Jim Palaska, who's downstairs, who did a bunch of all they needed was the as-built for the commercial. So he was able to help with that. And anyway, we got it done. They started in April. We still have not had our final inspection. We had one final inspection and we failed because they found some things in the bistro that were not working properly. So those are supposedly being fixed now, and we'll find out when we have a final inspection. Should be pretty soon. I also told you we hired a new maintenance guy, Steve Joyce Jr. He's Steve Joyce Sr.'s son, and does a really good job for us. We did the majority of the shutoff valve relocations, which was a big plumbing problem where for those who don't know, the shutoff valves for the residential units, water, were located in the ceilings of the commercial units. So if we had some kind of a catastrophe where we needed to shut off the water in the residential units, we had to go get into the commercial units, get a ladder, somebody had to climb up into the ceiling and turn the water off, which was crazy. So we looked at all different options, and we relocated all of them to the second floor water closets of all the second floor unit owners. And now we have keys to those. Well, we have keys to all of your units, but now we can easily access it if you're not there. But if you are, we can just come in and turn the knob and the water will be shut off, and it'll avert a huge catastrophe. So that was a project. We also again did Lucky Ducks. This is another thing that we created, that a program that we felt that there was a need, and we thought it would accommodate the homeowners. And the Lucky Ducks are the ones that clean the dryer vents. So we contacted them, and they gave us a cheaper rate to do a bulk, and we signed people up. And this past year we did 24 units were completed. And that's great because cleaning out your dryer vent reduces your susceptibility to a fire. So we do this I don't know if we did it last year. I guess we do it every year.
Every year.
Every year? Yeah. So that was good. I also told you we started looking into the possibility of replacing windows, just so that the homeowners, when the time comes, will have some options. And we wanted to do some research for them before they went out into the marketplace on their own. And Tom Keeney took that and chaired that committee and did a fantastic job. Interviewed 3 different companies, did a report, which as soon as we have the windows cleaned this year and I get a report about the condition of the seals and all of that, we're gonna roll that out to the membership and let them know that it might be time to start looking at window prices or window whatever, but we want to give them as much information as we can, and Tom has done a great job with that. So we did hire another ground up. Our landscaping company had been doing our fertilization, and then we switched from the company, like I said before, and we hired a husband and wife that have just done a phenomenal job with the landscaping in our community. And so we hired a company to do the fertilization of the shrubs and ornamentals, and then also pest control. We looked into purchasing a garage because, again, we have no place, everything that we own is stored in like storage units all around the whole building. And we thought it would be really nice to have one central location. We had a garage that we were using for a while that belonged to the 4 commercial units that got foreclosed on. And so we were enjoying having a garage that we could use, and then it sold, so we lost our garage. But we had to look into the possibility of buying one, and the way the documents are written, we really can't. We have to, any garage that is sold has to be assigned to another unit, and the association doesn't own a unit, so we can't buy a garage. But we did look into it. We also hooked up with this associated adjusting company that was referred to us by our lawyer. They've hired this company to work with them, and they let us be like a model. Like, they chose us to have this company come out here, and they did a free drone videography of our whole complex, so that anytime we have any catastrophic event now, we have drone footage of everything the way it looked before. And so that was really good. And let's see. Tom renegotiated all the charges for the telephones. We've already talked about that and gave him kudos for that. That was awesome. We had our palm trees trimmed. We have assumed maintenance responsibilities for the pavers on the northwest and south side of the building. And so we had those pavers all cleaned, power washed, and we also did the railing. And then we're in the process of getting an estimate right now to repair the railing. We had another little crisis. In the pavers and this is something that's on. We're in the midst of it, so I can only tell you that it has happened. We started noticing, and down in the lower part of the walkway, below the pavers on the west side of the building, there started to be a washout, like water was washing out the ground that was leading up to the lake, to the retention pond. And so we were not sure where that was coming from. And then we felt like it might be, as it turns out, underneath this paved area that we have assumed maintenance for, underneath the pavers is part of the stormwater management system. So what was occurring was that we have a downspout from our condo, all over the condo. The water goes down the downspout goes into the ground, right into the ground, and then it's attached to another pipe that diverts the water underground to this, and then that taps into the stormwater drain. So somewhere in that area, there was a broken pipe or something. And so we hired Armitage, which is our plumber for all this kind of things. And they came out with a camera and looked in there and said the pipe was crushed. And so it became, which we're still not, I don't know where this is going to end up, but we didn't know if we were responsible for that. It is coming off of our thing, but it is part of the stormwater drain, and stormwater management is handled by the HOA. And also another thing to remember is that this area where the pavers are, we do not own this area. We do the maintenance for it, and it was in an agreement with GeoSam and the HOA over a lawsuit that was filed based on the verbiage in our documents, which is highly suspect. I mean, could go either way. Nothing is black and white in documents. At any rate, we went ahead and we hired somebody to take the pavers up, and then we hired Armitage to come out and fix the pipe because we wanted to do our we wanted to prevent further damage. I mean, it was washing out the ground down there. Now, the way the law states, oh, look, we have pictures. There's the pipe. Do you see how flat it got? Okay, so what we learned when we took it out of the ground was, first of all, it's the wrong size pipe. Secondly, it's a thin pipe and it's supposed to be a stiff pipe, and it was flattened. So we went ahead and had it replaced, and we're now in the process of, I think our lawyer is determining if the maintenance agreement that we signed to maintain the walkway we thought was to maintain the pavers. So legally now we want to find out the stormwater drains underneath the ground, underneath the pavers, are part of the walkway. I think not, but our lawyer's looking at it, and I don't know where this is going to end up, because now I feel like that pipe, which was the wrong kind of pipe, and then there's another way to look at it too. Another way to look at it is that it is the water coming off our building. So it is only servicing, this particular pipe is only servicing us. It's draining water. So does that make it pertinent to our building, and does it make it our responsibility? So there's a lot of ways to look at this that are being investigated at this time. So it's just another thing that we're involved with.
Nancy, I have a question about that. Where is that reflecting on the budget? Is there a budget line item for that or no?
No, there's not. I mean, it's plumbing, and we don't know. I mean, we do have the pavers and everything. That was updated in the recent, we had an updated reserve study after we assumed that maintenance. So no, that's not in the budget, because we never even knew there was, we never even considered that we would be responsible for stormwater pipes underneath, and we don't know if we are. So, yeah, I don't know. It's not. I haven't gotten the price from Armitage for what they did. They were here, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours.
So it could affect the budget for next year though, or no?
Pardon me?
So it could affect the budget for next year, or it's in the reserves?
What did we decide? Mark, are you there? Where's Mark?
Yeah.
Did he leave? Oh, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did we decide to do? What did we say about that?
They're general repairs and maintenance for now.
Okay.
Right now it's general repairs and maintenance, yeah. But it's, I feel like, first of all, we're going to have to determine who's responsible for it.
Right.
We did it to prevent further damage. And so, but now my concern is, since we know that pipe is there, do we need to camera the other? These are spaced all the way around our building. We haven't seen any signs of any damage to, like, washout or anything, but we need to look into it.
So I guess it justifies the increase from 17,000 to 25,000 then, right?
It could, yes, it could. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then we had RSTU, the 4 commercial units got purchased by Antonio Holdings, which, by the way, Nancy, do you remember how many sales we had this year?
Excuse me. Yeah, we had 15 residential units that were sold, and then the RSTU is the
commercial
units that were sold.
So a total of 19 units sold this year.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Pretty good.
And they sold quick. And
they sold for a good amount.
Yeah. Yeah. Finally, people are, we're getting more money for, and they sold really quick. Okay, so We got Steve back after he left for a little while. And we hired Atticus. And I think I already told you for the future, we're looking at the roof. I explained that. We're also going to be looking at the elevator floors and the walls, which all these would be reserve items. We need to power wash the north and west side of the building. The window washing is going to occur in November, and we're going to have the windows caulked, especially the ones on the north side that incurred some of the wind-driven rain. We're working on getting cleaning of the building. I already explained to you about the hurricane damage that we did incur. It was minimal, and it was all wind-driven rain. So it was the flooding. The flooding that was around did not get into the commercial. I would stand on my balcony and watch. The water never got up to the doors of the commercial. However, when cars would drive or big trucks would drive down Linabella and they'd go fast, and it's like they created a tidal wave that pushed water right up to the commercial. But none of them really reported anything, worth reporting.
The only thing, just Nancy, to say anything about that, the AJR where Prospect used to be, they have an office up front near the lake, and I think that got some water into it, and they cleaned it out, as soon as possible, and it's done now.
Yeah. Okay. Also, I wanted to tell you that after probably the first week in December, I want to have a in-person town hall meeting, and the reason for this is because I really wish we could have had a in-person annual meeting, but we didn't. But it didn't work out that way. But I do want to have one in January, mostly to go through a lot of the stuff that I've told you, because there's only just a few of us here. But hopefully we can get more people to come. I also want to explain the new law that went into effect July 1st as a result of the South Florida collapse. And this law is, it's brutal. It's going to change a lot of things. I feel like we're not going to get hit as hard as the normal person because, one, our building isn't that old, and two, we have our reserves fully funded, and we have, like we said, been proactive in taking care of, the big items, et cetera. But it's going to make a difference. It's going to make a big difference, and I want everybody to have a clear understanding. I've attended 2 classes so far about it. So I have a lot of information to share, and I'll put that together as soon as I can find a place to have it. But I would like to have it probably the first week in December, maybe, just so everybody can have a good idea, and then hopefully we get more people there, because this is something that everybody needs to hear. So I'm going to really try to get more people there. I don't think I have anything else. Do you guys have any questions or anything? Nobody has a question?
I do.
You do, okay.
Yeah. I look forward to the meeting in December about what's going to happen to the condos in the area. So I'm looking forward to that, Nancy. Thank you so much.
You're
You're doing
welcome.
a great job in the community. Be able to reach out to you right away is very important to me. I appreciate all your support.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so does anybody else have anything else they want to talk about?
I just want to welcome Stan and Ken onto the board. I'm really glad that we're getting some new folks on here, some new ideas, so we can, make this place, run as well as it can be.
Thank you. Look forward to it.
Yeah. So,
Nancy, I have, before you close, I have one question. I see Ed Roddy here. he doesn't have a unit number because apparently he doesn't live here, right? Where does Ed actually live? He's on the board, so he owns property.
He's
N-
not on the board.
He's not on the board. He's an
Not on the
owner.
board. He's,
He,
oh, okay, yeah, he's not on the board, but he's an owner.
yeah, he's an original. Aren't you an original owner, Ed?
Yeah, Ken, I purchased, or I'm not sure who I'm speaking to, but I purchased the unit back when it was actually built. I've been there from day one, and Nancy does a great job moving the board forward. So I really appreciate her support. I do live in Venetian Bay and do support Venetian Bay 100%.
His unit is now a rental, Richard.
Okay. Any mystery as to what unit that is?
Does it matter?
329.
Yeah, I'd like to know what unit it is.
Unit 329. And I met Ken also. Ken's a great board member to come on board. He'll do a great board member to move the board forward. He really will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering because I've been here since 2008 and I've never heard of him before. So.
Oh. Well,
sounds like
now you have.
And I like to say, Nancy, that with all the noise and stuff I make occasionally, I do appreciate the work you do. I know you work a fantastic amount of time. So does Skip and everybody else on the board does, because I've spent 12 years on a board before I got to the here, and I spent 8 years on this board. And I know the board does a lot of work, and I do appreciate the members who serve on it, even though I do give a lot of noise to a lot of people. Sorry about that.
Richard, I have to say that we have had, since I've been here, we have had the most amazing boards. I mean, the people on our boards do so much, and prior boards. I still, like, I see Audrey, I don't see you, but I see that you're still in here. I still talk to Audrey like on a regular basis about different things, and we talk about the way things used to be, what, she's given me a lot of pointers and all that stuff. But we've always had, which has created the monster that we're faced with now and the need for an on-site person. We have always given, I feel from watching, our boards have always given above and beyond what they needed to give to the homeowners. And they have always done so much more, which has created this situation we're in now where we're having a hard time finding people to be on the board because it looks pretty time consuming, if you ask me. But we're trying to switch that and trying to back up a little bit and get it straightened out. And I hope we can. I think we can. But we have amazing boards. We have always had amazing boards, and we could not have survived without them. So I'm very appreciative for the board. So anyway, well, if there's nothing else, I think we can go ahead and I guess we don't even adjourn because we didn't really open because it's a town hall. But we'll, if you have any other questions, please feel free to get in touch with me and or any of the board members for that matter. They all have specific jobs and specific duties and things they care about, and so there's always somebody that will be able to help you. And I'll be in touch with a blast or something about when we'll do that town hall as soon as I can find a place to hold it. And we'll schedule that for probably like the first week in December. So thank you for coming, and we'll just keep plugging ahead. So
Thank you, Nancy, so much. You're great. You really are. You're the best.
Thank you.
Welcome, Vicky.
Yes, Vicky.
Yeah.
And also Ken.
We still have to like.
Are we
have to do
going
a
to see
short-
you now going forward? Yes.
Okay.
So what I'm wanting to do, Mark still has about 2 months left to go until his exit. So I will be working with Mark so that way it is a smooth transition and I get to know the property. We will be on site at some point for him to give me a tour, and yeah. So,
Okay. Well, we look forward to working with you.
me too.
Anybody else?
We still have to have a short organizational meeting to elect officers.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So we do need to have a real short meeting, and anybody can stay, or if you're not on the board, you can leave. But with the new board members and the old board members, we do need to have an organizational meeting. So with that, I'm going to call the organizational meeting to order. And so we need.
I nominate Nancy to be president.
Okay, nomination is to be president. I accept. Is there, do we have to have a second? Or how do we do that, Mark?
Yeah, I second.
You're going the
Okay.
right way.
Okay, so motion is made and seconded, and then I think we can have one vote for everybody. And then we need another motion for the rest of the offices. Can I make that motion?
Well,
Yeah, okay. I would like to move that Tom Keeney be the secretary treasurer, and that Nancy Brannon be the vice president, and that the directors be Mike Hatzel, Stan Chmielewski, and Ed Modulewski. Ken Modulewski. Sorry. Okay. All in favor? Aye.
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 All opposed? Okay, welcome to the board, you two.
Thank you.
I'll get in touch with you to get your email address so I can send it out to everybody, and
We'll update all the documentation in the elevators.
Yeah.
And get you on the tip.
Yes.
Yes. So
Welcome aboard to the new 2 members. It's great to have a couple more Irishmen on the board.
whoa.
Thank you.
Yak Shamash.
Oh.
We'll be causing trouble.
We need more trouble.
You got it now.
Okay, everybody. Thank you so much, and I'll be talking to you soon.
Thank
you.
Great
All right.
night.
Bye.